We are approaching the end of our workshop here, and there are two things that I feel now. I was really listening to the conversation and feeling. And the first thing is, we need more people in the room. It's like this was so rich that we need more people to hear the messages, but also to engage in the conversation. That's one thing that really, and this is something that I feel, that I always feel when we had a chance to convene the GFCC group. We had some, for sure, some forward-looking entrepreneurs who are coming from science here. We had some of the top research leaders in this planet here today in the room. So I always feel, hey, we need more people. We need to expand this conversation. And the other thing, I could not agree more with you, Deborah, is this feeling that the reality is out there to be changed, to be shaped. So how can we drive change? How can we pull together not just our thoughts, but our energy to reshape institutions? So those are two things that really, watching and listening to the conversations in the two sessions, that really came to my mind. Before I turn to Deborah, George, and Simos to finalize this, like five topics that actually I think can summarize our conversation here today. The first is diversity. We have a variety of experiences here in the room today. We had a chance to learn from people about those. And there are two things related to diversity. The one is that constraints and resources are not evenly distributed around the globe. So different constraints in different environments. There are regulations that are in place in one country that are not in place in others. And those limit what can be done. And again, change is needed. Change can happen. The other thing is that there's a lot of value. If there's diversity, there's an opportunity to arbitrate knowledge, to arbitrate solutions, to take something that's being done in one country and take it to the other and create value. The second one, I think it was very, very much clear, and I think we heard that conversation and that topic from George, from Stelios, and from others. It's the need for a strategy, right? And this is something that we've been talking in the GFCC when the subject comes to universities and innovation. And I think that in many parts of the globe, and Carlos, in the part of the globe where we come from, there's a very limited number of universities and people who really understand the need for a university strategy. And I can talk about a reality that I know more about, right? So the need for a strategy. The third topic that we heard very strongly here, and again, this resonates with the reality where Carlos, Gianna, and I come from, it's a focus on impact. The importance to focus on impact. I'll give you one quick figure. There are big differences between two big countries, Brazil and US. Brazil is as long north to south as the US is east to west. So big countries in terms of geography. But there's one big difference. For sure, the resources available for research are different, but there's one big difference on how those are used. In the US, 80% of the resources, especially federal resources, are to do things like Steve has brilliantly highlighted here, to solve big problems, to solve problems. The proportion is quite the opposite in Brazil. Only 20% is really focused on solving problems. The others, let's say the others just open. So focused on impact. The fourth, we heard here, but throughout the Global Innovation Summit in Athens, is that the global landscape is changing. And digital brings a new reality, there are new global, let's say, geopolitical setup that's emerging. And we heard one thing about the change here today, and I think Peter highlighted that during this is something that we also talked in Athens, about how digital is shifting the whole talent equation. There are markets that are being split. Part of the talent pool, it's only able to engage locally, but we have a portion that's engaging globally. That changed the whole landscape for companies, for universities, for governments to think about the future paths of economies. And finally, We heard that very well now, and Jean again highlighted that we need a government, a conversation, we need all stakeholders. So creating the bridges that in some way we think the GFCC can build and is trying to build, there's value in that. So those are 5 topics that I believe can be highlighted to summarize a bit what we have heard, what we have done. This was an amazing conversation, and Simos, I want to turn to you because, again, to thank you for the partnership. Thank you and Venetia for your dynamism and driving change. And once we hear from you, really turn to George and Deborah to close our workshop here. And I would say not just the workshop, but our whole journey in Greece with this group of people. We have like 10 countries in the room, but including in Athens, we had people from 22 countries joining us here for the Global Innovation Summit. So, Simos, again, thank you so much. The floor, the stage.
Thank you, Roberto. What a way to close this fantastic summit. How nice it has been, and what did we listen, what we heard, the knowledge that we developed all of these days. To my mind come the words of Jim Clifton at the first session of this summit. One has to concentrate to work on his strength rather than his weaknesses. To expand that, to see it a little more differently. I think we have to see things positively and approach what you are doing here. You are doing wonders. A new era is dawning here in Ioannina, in Epirus, something that can really develop to a model for regional competitiveness and regional growth. And this is where I see great value for competent GFCC here, for the Competitiveness Council of Greece. So many things that are happening here, so many important things. The ingredients are all here. And we, at the Council of Competitiveness, can act, can help as the glue that brings all of this together, to develop the whole project, to assist you in collaborating and finding the way. And with the tools, the knowledge, the experience of the GFCC, we can even promote it to the world. We can even expand the prospects of this project that you are doing here and connect you to the world. So we are here. Please use us. This is where we can be useful for the project that you are developing here. Thank you. A great thing that you are doing. I cannot stress it enough. Thank you, GCC. Thank you, Roberto, for organizing all this thing. And thank you for assisting to bring my homeland, my region, under the lights of the world. Thank you very much. Deborah.
It has been a very lively discussion and a really fruitful workshop. I mean, we all discussed about great ideas, and Roberto has summarized of them very efficiently, I guess. Okay, I just keep the last words of Simos that we need to work and try to work on our strengths. And okay, we all have weaknesses. During the discussion, we raised a lot, but we can do things. I mean, and if we are determined to do things, and if we are also determined to collaborate, because this is the key to success, I mean, we can do things. And we really thank all of you from all the globe being here. I think it was a very, very successful event. I know that Ioannina is very hard to reach, and we really appreciated the fact that you are here. We know that you are a part of, you know, of our ecosystem now, because actually through CompetGR we can reach you easily. And of course, this is just a starting point of the collaboration of the park, the university, with CompetGR, the council, because we have to do things together. Thank you for being here. Deborah, you're closing this.
I hurt my foot. That's why I'm up here crippling around, and it's got to somehow get better between lunch and the afternoon so I can run around the castle and do some shopping here in Ioannina. On a serious note, thank you all. Thank our fantastic speakers, moderators. You know, this is the culminating event of the 2022 GFCC Global Innovation Summit, and at each of our events, We've learned more, we've gotten more enthusiasm and passion, and it really reached a nice crescendo here. So thank everyone for their engagement and sharing their knowledge. And it was wonderful that the governor was here with us this morning, showing his respect. I just have a few things to say, because I think we kind of know where to go from here in many ways. But the most important is that everyone in this room is a leader, and everyone in this room in what I call is a builder. They are working on building the present and building the future. And Chad Evans and some of my colleagues know that one of these days, when I get the time or I'm in a different stage of life, I'm going to write a book called Builders and Blockers. Because throughout my career, I have identified those types of people in every dimension. They're people who want to think of the future, want to do things. We heard a lot of them. They're here today. But unfortunately, many of those people are surrounded by blockers. And those are the people that always talk about the negative. Why you can't do something, what the problem is. You know, oh, if we only had this, if we only had that. Well, guess what? Throughout human history, we haven't had everything. We've had to create things. We've had to think of the path to the future. So leaving here in the GFCC, all of us who are builders, yes, we have to deal with some problems, but it's much better, personally, professionally, to look at that glass half full, not half empty. So that is my kind of inspirational word to all of us, because we are all builders here. Otherwise, we wouldn't have come to Greece. We wouldn't be part of the GFCC. And then finally, the issue of young people. We talked all about the importance of young people. And our colleagues that came from Oman and our colleagues that came from Zimbabwe, they were really the only ones who brought some young members with them on the team. And I want to congratulate that for them, and they even had them on the program. So thank them very much for that. And thank goodness for digital technology. I know this has been filmed, so hopefully it will get out on our respective Compete Greece and the GFCC websites. But whoever said it, maybe it was Roberto, this auditorium should have been full of students. And that's something that the leaders here need to take back, because it's a tremendous shame that they weren't here to learn and have some of them put their hands up and talk and contribute. We need, Chad Holliday said this, we need the young people. They're shaping our world. They need to be part of these discussions. So I want to convey that. Now, Compete Greece, Simos Anastonopoulos, Venetia Kousia have done a great job pulling together this new organization. I'm thrilled that Yanin is part of it. But I know one of their strategies that's very significant is they are going to understand throughout Greece what are the strengths, capacities of all these regions as innovation drivers of the future. And they will have not only the knowledge and the thought leadership, but hopefully more and more of the team to make things happen. And we're doing that at the U.S. Council in the United States as we roll out place-based innovation throughout our country. Roberto, let me thank you for your leadership. Let me thank Vanessa Puerta. Let me thank the Delphi Economic Forum that's not here. Where's Yo-Yan? Oh, there you are. Oana Christina, you guys were unbelievable. Simeon was with us last night, had to go back, but of course, you know, he's incomparable, and we couldn't have done this without our great partners. All right, thank you so much. Oh, group picture.
Smile. Okay.
Say cheese.
Thank you.